Have you ever watched a movie that was so amazing that you couldn't stop thinking about it? Did you think it would be really cool to be a part of making it, but immediately toss that thought away due to it being impossible? Well, I'm here to tell you that it may not be as impossible as you think. My name is Luke Taylor, and today I'll be talking about having a career in the film industry and hopefully showing just how exciting and possible it could be. So I'm a part of the film production program at Confederation College, and I hope to one day be working in the film industry. So a lot of the experience I'll be talking about in this presentation is from a Toronto trip that we just went on in March, and we visited a lot of visual effects houses, equipment rental houses. We went to really big studios in Toronto, such as the one where they filmed Umbrella Academy on Netflix, if you guys know about that show. And we got the chance to talk to a lot of industry professionals while we were there, which was really cool. We got to talk to people who were on set, operating cameras and stuff like that. We got to talk to people who were doing editing. We got to talk to people directing and script writing. So there was a lot of coverage of people we got to talk to, which was really awesome because it's nice to get perspective from a lot of different people. So I'll be talking about how one is able to begin such a career, the opportunities and growth that the industry has, and explaining how the film industry has something for everybody. So there's many ways to enter the film industry. One of them that's very popular right now is you can join certain groups on Facebook that revolve around hiring crew for film shoots. And it's really popular because it's a very easily accessible way of doing it. Usually you'll join one of these groups and people will post weekly, daily about needing crew for, say, music shoots, TV shows, student films, feature films, so a really big range of stuff that they'll need people for. And they'll just ask for you to apply with your resume. It's kind of like a regular job just through Facebook. And with this, you don't really need necessarily any experience to join. So it's a really nice way to kind of get some experience on set, kind of learn how people operate on set and the etiquette, and just a nice way to get your foot in the door. And another way is you can join an apprenticeship in a film union. And this is a really good way to get your foot in the door as well, because you'll be actually working on union shoots, and film unions they usually tend to get the bigger budget shoots because it's a lot more professional, and a lot of the people working in film unions have been doing it pretty much their whole life, and they have so much experience. So with the apprenticeship, it's really easy to get into. It's also kind of just like applying to a regular job. You just have to send an email to the person in charge of it, and I've had people in my program already do that, and they've got an email back in the same day. So it's not exactly really hard to get into. And once you're in, well, actually when you're applying, you choose a department that you'd like to be in, and if they accept you, then they will email you about shoots going out, and they'll try to give you a few days a week on certain shoots, and they'll try to offer a wide range of different productions to be on, such as TV shows, horror movies, sitcoms, things like that, just to give you a wide range of experience. And it's a really good start for people because since you're in the apprenticeship program, people know you're learning, and they know that you're just kind of starting out, and you get to work with a lot of different people. So it's a good way to kind of get yourself in the industry, but it's not really competitive and kind of insane like actually working on set can be sometimes. Or you could also take a college or university program that has an internship. So here at Confederation College, it's a 2-year program. So unfortunately, we don't have an internship with the program, but there's a lot of universities and colleges in the Toronto area and across Canada that do have an internship at the end. And as you know, internships are a good way to get some networking going, meeting people, getting names, showing your face, and it's really a good way to gather some experience right after school. It's like there's no pause or break, and you don't really have to do any searching by yourself. It's kind of just like the next step in your program. So if you have an interest in the film industry and you want to take a college or university program for it, I would definitely recommend taking one that has an internship because it can be very valuable in the future. There are also a lot of ways that you can improve your skills and rise up the ranks in the industry. So specifically, joining a film union is a really nice way to do this. It's a very solid plan, joining the film union. As you know, with most unions, they're very protective of their workers, and it's very fair. There's a lot of equality, and it's not like non-union shoots, which tend to be sometimes long hours, maybe unpaid, maybe not so good pay. They don't treat their workers as well. So joining a film union is a really nice choice to make if you can afford doing it, since it's kind of expensive. But once you're in a union, they are really nice with going in between different departments, and you can apply for different departments when you're applying to the union. So it's a bit more flexible than if you were trying to hop around in non-union shoots, because the unions are just a bit more professional. And once you're on shoots, you can prove yourself by having a good work ethic, and people will definitely notice this. So if you're really trying to rise up the ranks and improve your skills, and like you're really trying to get up there, the number one thing you can do is to have a good work ethic, because you really have to earn all your respect on set. People won't treat you like you're some famous director if you've just graduated film school. You really have to earn everything on a set. So if you bust your ass and you just work really hard, you're not annoying to people, and you just really want to learn, and people will notice this, like, for sure. Maybe they won't tell you it, but you'll kind of notice, because you'll get calls for different shoots and people will know you. Your name kind of spreads because the industry it's really big, but it's very closely knit. So word of mouth is kind of everything in the film industry. So if you have a really good reputation, then it spreads very fast, and people will definitely notice this and prefer you over someone who doesn't really work that good on set and they're kind of annoying. So it's definitely valuable to have a good work ethic. And a lot of the skills that you learn in each department are transferable. So you may get a call for a better job in another department, because many departments are similar and they kind of just require like a base skill set. There are departments which are more specialized and you need training in certain things, but since there's so many departments, a lot of them just need like a kind of base skill set and knowledge of operating tools and certain gear, and it's not that hard to get that knowledge. So once you're in a department and you kind of want to work in another one, you kind of notice these people doing another really cool job that you might want to do. It's very easy to kind of express that interest, and maybe something will pop up and people know that you were interested in it, and there you go, you've got a better job in a different department, which can be pretty cool, because a lot of people in the industry and the people we were talking to in Toronto, they didn't really expect to be in the department that they were in. They kind of just jumped around and they got all these different offers and opportunities and didn't turn it down. It ended up being really profitable for them, and they like the department they're in. So there's definitely a lot of transferability between departments in the industry. The film industry itself is so big and it has so many specific jobs that there's definitely something for everyone out there. So in pre-production is everything that happens before the camera actually starts rolling, before you get um, the actors and everything on set and you're actually like making the movie. Pre-production is a lot of paperwork, um, it's a lot of organization, and it involves everything from like the ground floor upwards. So this is script writing, this is casting the actors, you have to organize your locations, you have to find locations, you have to design the look of the movie. So a lot of the jobs in pre-production are you're kind of like building what the movie will be once they actually get to production. And once you're in production, um, the jobs in production are, for me, the most interesting, but that's just my personal preference. And there's a lot of them in production. And production is when you're actually on a set, so like at a location with actors and with a crew, usually a fairly big crew, and that's when time is money and you have to work usually really fast, and that's you got to set up all the cranes and the equipment, and it's a lot of hands-on skills, so it's not as much paperwork or necessarily computer work as pre-production and post-production. So in production it's a lot of like setting up gear, unloading trucks, moving things around. If you're like in an art department, like painting, building stuff. So that's kind of what the jobs in production have to offer. And then once that's wrapped and you have all of your shots from production, you move into post-production. And post-production is when the editor starts cutting together all the clips and consults with the director. And they usually go back and forth for a while because it takes a long time to kind of exactly get the director's vision on a movie, and you have to consult with the studio because they've got monetary priorities, so they need to see it, they need to kind of have an input on how the movie's going to play out. And this is also when visual effects happen, so explosions, CGI, that sort of thing. This all happens in post-production. And also things like ADR, additional dialogue replacement. Say if you have a clip where it's really windy and you can't hear what somebody's saying, you would call the actors back into like a recording studio and you would record their lines over again. So it's a lot of fine-tuning and just kind of making sure everything's polished off, and that's pretty much what you're doing in post-production. So as you can see, having a career in the film industry is one of the most exciting jobs that you could wish for, and it's totally possible for anyone. Hopefully I've shown you how you can start such a career, multiple ways to improve your skills and grow in the industry, and that there's something to interest everyone in this career. So in conclusion, the film industry can be so exciting and fun that sometimes it doesn't even seem like you're working. Will you continue to watch other people's dreams, or will you become a part of making them? Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.